10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello everyone, welcome to Mechanical Sati. So in the previous two classes for Physics till MT, we have solved 20 questions. So from that we will continue in this video. So in this video we will be solving from the question number 21 to 30. So without wasting time, let us move forward and start our discussion. So 21st question is that a shaft transmits 1000 kilowatt of power at 100 radian per second. Then the torque transmitted in kilonewton we have to find out. So if we want to find out the torque, we have a formula that we know that power and torque relation. So we know that power is equal to torque into omega. Okay, so where P is the power, T is the torque transmitted, and omega is the angular velocity. So here everything is given to us. That power is given, that is as 1000 kilowatt, and angular velocity is given as 100 radian per second, and simply we have to find out the torque transmitted. So if we will be trying to calculate the torque from here, so I can write 1000 kilowatt divided by 100. Okay, so that will give me, that is 10, and it is in terms of kilo, so it will be kilo Newton meter. So it is as simple as that. So simply we have to put the formula and we can get our answer. So answer will be getting here as 10 kilonewton meter. So here option 3 will be the correct answer for this question. So you can see it. So here you can check that option 3 will be the correct answer. So moving towards next question, that is question number 22. So in a linearly elastic structure, partial derivative of the strain energy with respect to a load is equal to the deflection of the point where load is active. Okay, so the deflection is measured in the direction of load. So this is known as which theorem. Okay, so simply we know this theorem is according to your Castigliano's theorem. Okay, so it is not the Bernoulli's theorem, nor the work energy principle, or not the unit load method. So this is the Castigliano's theorem. Okay, so simply here we can say option number 1 will be the correct answer. Okay, so moving towards next question, that is question number 23. So here it is telling that if Euler load of a column is given as 1000 Newton, that is kilonewton, and the crushing load is given as 1200 kilonewton, and we have to find out the Rankine load, approximate value. Okay, so we have a formula that we know for finding the Rankine load, that if I am writing that Euler load as PE, and crushing load as PC. Okay, so this is your P subscript C, and Rankine load I can write in that way, that is PR. Okay, so from the column theory we have some formula. So for finding the Rankine load I can use this formula, that is 1 by PR, that will be equal to 1 by PC plus 1 by PE. So all these data are given to us which we require. So here PC is given and PE is given. So simply by using this formula we can find out the value of, that is PR. So simply let us put these values. So 1 by PR, that will be equal to what? 1 by PC is given as 1200, 1200 kilonewton, plus your PE is given as your 1000, so 1 by 1000. Okay, so if we will be calculating the value from here, you can get PR will be equal to 545 kilonewton. Okay, so simply you can calculate all these values, so you can find out this value. So again it was a simple question, so you need to remember this formula only. So if you can remember this formula, you can find this answer easily. Okay, so here answer will be your option number 1 again. So 545 kilonewton will be the correct answer. Then moving towards next question, that is question number 24. So stress component at a parallel point in a material is given like this: sigma 200 0 to 0 200 in terms of megapascal. So yield strength of the material in tension is also given, that is given as 400 megapascal. So we need to find out the factor of safety as per the Rankine's theory. So as we know, Rankine's theory is otherwise known as the normal stress theory. Okay, that is a maximum normal stress theory. So according to maximum normal stress theory, we know that the maximum of sigma 1 or sigma 2. Okay, so maximum value of sigma 1 or sigma 2, that will be equal to what? So I can write maximum among sigma 1 or sigma 2, so that will be equal to yield strength. So yield strength is given to us, so I can write sigma ys by fs simply. Okay, and maximum value among this, it is given as 200. So maximum sigma 1 sigma 2, so these are two equal, they are equal to each other. So sigma 1 is given to us as 200, and your yield strength is also given as 400 megapascal. So only unknown is here that factor of safety, so that simply we can calculate that. So fs I can write down, this is your 200 and this is your 400. So I can divide 400 by, that is 200. Okay, so if we will be doing this calculation, we will be getting the answer as 2. Okay, so our answer for this question, and factor of safety will be equal to 2. So we'll be going with option number 2, that is factor of safety as 2. So here answer will be our option number 2, that is 2. Okay, so let us move towards next question, that is question number 25. So it is again another simple question. So let us read this. So this is a question from the mechanics, engineering mechanics. The forces which meet at one point and their lines of action also lie on a same plane, then system of forces, which type of system of forces we can obtain from this. Okay, so simply if we will see over here, the forces which meets at a single point and the line of action, okay, so which meets at a single point, that those type of forces are known as your concurrent forces. Okay, so if any number of forces are meeting at a single point, then those type of system is known as your what? That is concurrent force. Those type of forces are known as your concurrent forces. Okay, and again if they are acting and their line of action are acting on a same plane, then they are known as your coplanar forces. Okay, so from this we can say your option 1 will be the correct option for this. So here your answer will be option number 1. Then moving towards next question, that is question number 26. So let us read it. That I'm sorry. Okay, so an elevator weighing 1000 kg attains an upward velocity of 4 meter per second in 2 seconds with uniform acceleration. Okay, so there is an elevator which weight mass is given as 1000 kg, and it is attaining an upward velocity is given as 4 meter per second, and the time is given as 2 seconds. Okay, so as velocity is given, attaining velocity is given from the 0 meter per second to 4 meter per second, and the time interval it is given during that dt, we can write that it is given as 2 seconds. Okay, and it is attaining that with a uniform acceleration. So we need to find out the tension in the supporting cables. Okay, so let us first draw the free body diagram over here for that elevator. So let us assume this is an elevator which is having a weight, let this is W, and that W can be calculated as mg. Okay, so mg, that m mass value is given as 1000 kg, and g we can assume g as 9.8, that nearly equal to 10. Okay, so that is a cable, okay, which will be connected to this elevator. So during that cable will be getting some tension, that T, and we need to calculate the value of T over here. Okay, so as this elevator is moving up, so it will be attaining a force that equal to F. So this is not a applied force, this is the force due to the motion. Okay, so what will be the value of that force due to motion, that we can calculate it from the Newton's second law, that F will be equal to m into a. Okay, that rate of change of momentum will be the force. Okay, so F will be equal to ma. So simply if I want to calculate the value of this force, okay, so that force, so you can find like this, F will be equal to what, so this T, okay, T minus W. Okay, so from here, if W is simply we can find out, because mass is given and acceleration due to gravity, that is a constant value, and we can find out the value of W. And in the question it is asking to find out the value of tension, so we need to find out the torque, that is tension value. Okay, so if we can find out this force, okay, force due to motion, then we can find out the value of obviously this tension. So let us first try to find out this value. Okay, so for finding the value of this force, we need to know the value of m and a. So m is known to us, and if we can find out the value of acceleration, that with which acceleration it is moving up, then we can find out the value of force due to this motion. Okay, so let us try to find out the value of a. So a, we can we know that this is equal to dv by dt, that rate of change of velocity. Okay, so dv, that we can write as v2 minus v1, and dt also we can write t2 minus t1, and dt is directly it is given 2 seconds, so simply we can put 2 hours like this. Okay, and v2, that is the maximum velocity or attained velocity of the elevator, so that is given as 4, and let the first primarily it was in the rest position. v1 I can write as 0, so v2 we can write as 4. Okay, so we can put the value v2 as 4 and v1 as 0. So if we will be calculating this value, then a can be calculated, that is the acceleration can be calculated as your 2. So from here we can get the value of acceleration, that is 2. Okay, so now if we will be putting in this equation, that is F equal to ma, so simply we can calculate the value of force due to motion. Okay, so then after finding the value of F, simply we can put in this equation, then we can find out the value of tension. So let us try to do that. So if will be, I will be writing, sorry, so if I will writing I will write this T as I can write F minus W. So F I can write T as ma, and that is m a, and so T I can write F plus W. Okay, so m plus W, and sorry, F plus W. So F I can write as ma, and W I can write by mg. So I can take common as m, sorry, so I can take common as m, so I can write a plus g. So T I can find out to by like this, T will be equal to m whole into a plus g, where m is given as 1000 and a we now calculated as 2. Okay, so 2 plus g we can take 9.81 or simply 10. So we can get the value of torque in the range of 12,000, because this will be equal to 12 and this is given as 1000. So simply we can calculate the value of the tension, so that can be calculated as 12,000. Okay, so it will be seeing the options over here. It is given as 1000. Okay, sorry. Okay, so it is given as 1000, 800, 1200, and none of this. So 12,000 range is not available in the question, that options. So we have to take in the option number 4, that none of this will be the answer. Okay, so for question number 26, your option number 4 will be the correct answer. So moving towards next question, that is question number 27. So a 5 kg mass at rest, okay, on a frictionless table is acted upon by a constant force is given as 12 Newton. So distance travelled by it is given as 2 seconds. Okay, sorry, the distance travelled by it in 2 seconds is how much? So we need to find out the value of distance when we will be applying 12 Newton of force on a 5 kg mass if friction is negative. Okay, so that we have to find out. So we know the value, there is an equation like this: S is equal to ut plus half at square. Okay, so where S is the displacement or distance, we have to calculate now, and U is the initial velocity, T is the time. Okay, and again A is the acceleration due to gravity. So from here we can say initially it was in the rest position, so this term becomes 0, and acceleration is not given over here, time is given. So from here if we can calculate the value of acceleration, then we can find out the value of distance. Okay, so let us try to calculate the value of acceleration first, then we can find out the distance. Okay, so for that let us draw the free body diagram over here when it was in the condition of equilibrium. So this is the table, fixed table, and this is the that mass, and the mass is given as 5 kg. So it will be equal to what? That will be equal to m into g. Okay, so 12 Newton of force is being applied over here. So this is the 12 Newton. Okay, that is the force which is applied over here, and we know that this force will be equal to what? M into A. Okay, so now from here we can calculate the as this is the frictionless component, so there will be no friction along this, so this F will be equal to 0. Okay, and that it will be equal to mu Rn, and mu we can say 0, so there will be no friction value. Okay, so whatever force is applied, due to that we will be having some motion, so we can write simply F will be equal to ma, and F is known to us and m is known to us. So from here we can calculate the value of A. So let us try to calculate that. So if we will be calculating the value of A, then that I can write as 12. Okay, 12 divided by this is m is given as 5. So 12 divided by 5 will be the answer for your acceleration. Okay, so now we have to put this acceleration in this equation, then that's how we can calculate the value of this distance. Okay, so let us put the value of acceleration over here. So if we will be putting that, then I can write 1 by 2 into 12 by 5 and t square. So t is given as 2 seconds, so I can write as 4. Okay, so let us now calculate this value. So 2 can be cancelled, so that will be equal to 12 cross 2. So 12 cross 2 we can write as 24, and that will be divided by 5. Okay, so 24 divided by 5. So if we will be dividing this, I can write 4 times 5, that will be equal to 4 point, and that will be left with 4, and I will be taking the, okay, so I will be getting as 4.8. Okay, so 4.8 will be the answer for this question. So our answer is matching with option number 3. So option number 3 will be the correct answer for this question. Okay, so for question number 27, your option number 3 will be the correct answer. So now moving towards next question, that is question number 28. So let us read it. In the figure shown, a block of weight is 10 Newton resting on a horizontal surface. Okay, so the weight of this block is given as 10 Newton. Okay, so a coefficient of static friction between the block and the surface is given as 0.4. Okay, so mu is given as 0.4 over here. So if a horizontal force of 3 Newton is applied to the block, then the block will what? Okay, so whether it will move or not move, let us first see that. So options are given like move over the surface with a constant velocity, or move having accelerated motion over the surface, or it will not move, or fourth option is telling that first it will move with a constant velocity for some time, and then it will have accelerated motion. Okay, so let us try to see first that whether it will be moving or not, then we'll be discussing all these things. Okay, so if we'll be seeing that weight is given as, so weight will be acting downward, so weight W, it is given as 10 Newton, and it is resting on a horizontal surface. So mu is given as, so friction is given as frictional coefficient, that is 0.4. Okay, so 0.4 is the mu value, and horizontal force which is acting that T. Okay, so here it is taken as T. So T is given as 3 Newton. Okay, so due to this force, so due to this weight, we will be having a normal component of reaction. So I can write this is Rn. So normal reaction due to this weight. Okay, so R will be equal to W. We know that, and it will be getting the frictional component of force. So F we can get that value. So F we can calculate as mu Rn. Okay, so let us try to find out this frictional force which will be there. Okay, so mu value which is given as 0.4, and Rn we can get from here that Rn will be equal to W. Okay, the magnitude of Rn will be equal to W. So W will be equal to 10 Newton. Okay, so Rn will be also equal to 10 Newton. So frictional force which will be there, that will be equal to 4 Newton. Okay, so frictional force will be there 4 Newton, and we are applying a 3 Newton of force. So obviously it will not move. That body which is present, that will not move. So for moving, we require a force which will be greater than the 4 Newton. Okay, so it will not move. So our option, correct option will be the question, is that option number 3. Okay, so our option number 3 will be the correct answer for this question. Okay, so I think you have understood this one. So let us move to next question. So let us read it. For a rectangular cross section shown below, moment of inertia about to CB is how much? Okay, so about to this line, about CB, we have to find out the moment of inertia. So for finding the moment of inertia about CB, if we'll be writing this formula, then I can write like this. So I CB, I can write BH, so that is small, BHQ by 12. Okay, plus AH square. So let us write it as X, because we have taken this is as H. So let us write it as X. Okay, so here B means that about which we have to find out. So this length we can take as B. So I can write this B as 4, and this is will be H, that is height, we can say as 3 meter. Okay, so BH is given, and area we can find out by multiplying B and H, that is 3 into 4, and X, that is the distance between the centroid of this cross section. Okay, the distance between the centroid of this cross section and about to which line we have to find out the moment of inertia. So centroid, if we will be trying to find out, then it will be lying somewhat here. Okay, so this will be the centroid. Okay, so this centroid distance from this line we have to find out, and if we will be finding that, then I can calculate like 3 by 2. Okay, so everything is given to us. So let us try to calculate this one. So if we will be trying to calculate this, then B is given as here as 4, and H I have already told you that is 3. So Q by 12 plus A, that will be equal to 4 into 3 into X, that will be equal to 3 by 2 whole square. Okay, so from here 4, and let us take 1 3 from here, so that will be giving rise to 12. So 12 and 12 can be cancelled. So from here will be will left with 3 square, so that will be equal to 9. Okay, plus, so here 4 and 4 we can cancel, so 2 square, that will be giving us as 4. So 4 and 4 we can cancel, and then from here we left with 3 and 3 square. So okay, so obviously that will be equal to 27. So if we will be adding 9 plus 27, then it will give us as 36. Okay, so in this question, your moment of inertia about to CB will be your 36. Okay, so here option 2 will be the correct answer for this question. Okay, so now let us move towards next question, that is question number 30. So one of the easiest question, which is the springs of stiffness is given as K1 and K2 respectively are connected in series. So what is the stiffness of composite spring? Okay, so there are basically the springs are connected in series. So if the springs are connected in series, then we can write like this. So let us see it first. So basically, if this is the fixed support, okay, and there is a spring and there is another spring, okay, and let this is any mass is attached. So let this is as k1 and this is as k2. So then we have to find out the equivalent stiffness. So I can write 1 by k equivalent, that will be equal to 1 by k1 plus 1 by k2. Okay, so k equivalent can be calculated as your, if we take LCM, then that will be equal to k1 k2, and in the numerator will be living with as k1 plus k2. So if we are reversing it, then we can get this result. So k equivalent can be calculated as k1 k2 divided by k1 plus k2. So in the case of springs, when it will be connected in series, so we will be having this formula, so do remember this. And when your springs will be connected in a parallel, so we will be having will be getting a relation like this. Okay, so simply if you have remembered this one, then you can answer this question easily. So for question number 30, our answer will be your option number 1. Okay, so with this we have completed again another 30 questions. So for today we have reached at the end of lecture, and so again I will repeat that same thing. So if you like this video, then press on the like button which is given below, and if you are new here, then do subscribe to our channel and press on the bell icon, so that we'll be getting all the notifications from our channel whenever we'll be uploading any new video on this. So nowadays, so we are targeting towards Bhajaxdel, which is to be conducted in this year, and every day we are trying to cover 10 questions, so that it will be helpful for those students who have already concepts with them, and they want to practice. So at least for okay, so in a single day you can get 10 questions, which are the most probable questions. Those may come in different exams also, like SSC, JEE or RRB, like this, or ISRO you may prepare. In case of your ESC also, you may find out this type of questions. Okay, so again I am repeating that it will be helpful those who have concepts with them. Okay, so you can think as one of the practice section. Okay, so whenever you are watching this video, then first try to get the answer. For that reason you need to pause the video, then after getting your answer, then resume it and see the solution. Okay, so do share it with your friends who are hoping to practice some questions. Okay, so thank you for watching.